Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of How Did This Get Booked? I, of course, am your host, Jake Manning, and I'm a veteran of the professional wrestling business for over a decade, and I've held every single job except selling popcorn. I'm joined, as always, by my co-host, my tag team partner, apartment complex de-icer,
yep.
snow shoveler.
Not a snow enthusiast.
Not a snow enthusiast,
No.
Especially now that we are buried in about a foot of snow here in North Carolina. Zane Riley. Zane, how are you doing?
I'm alright, man. Pretty good.
Still rocking the shorts.
Yeah, well, I was going to go to the gym after this.
Yeah, and it is warming up.
It is. Everything is melting. The Snowmageddon is over. It
Yeah.
lasted all of 12 hours.
Yeah, and that's one of the funny things is like a lot of Northerners, especially I come from Iowa. A lot of people that are on my Facebook always laugh when we make a big deal about snow down here, but I have to always explain to them is that the entire city of Charlotte only has like 3 snowplow slag trucks for the entire city. But where I grew up in Preston, they had 3 slag trucks parked up the road for 1,000 people, but we have 3 here for close to 1 million.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the difference. That's why there's an issue. It's like having one plunger for an apartment complex.
And, it's weird because, no one in Charlotte is really from Charlotte. This is a melting pot of a city. But you would think that if all these people are here from all these other different places, they would know how to fucking drive in the snow, but no one does.
This is true. And speaking of a person who didn't know how to drive in the snow today, which is part of the reason why we had to reschedule, joining us today, our non-wrestling fan, Matt McCorkle. Matt, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well.
Yes, we were talking. I'm like, hey, do you think we can do this? Because this podcast is coming out a day late. But of course, if you're listening to this podcast 6 months from now in the middle of summer,
you won't know.
This is you're 6 months late. We're only a day late, so that's part of the reason why I was like, let's just delay it a day just to be safe, because there's no salt on the roads, but there's plenty of ice, especially as it got to. But Matt, you're like, I don't know how to drive in snow whatsoever.
I've never done it.
So I'm guessing you grew up in North Carolina, or at least the South.
Yeah, but then I went to school in Columbia, South Carolina, so it's like.
Ooh, okay.
It's no snow there.
So you went even further south.
Yes.
So
They're almost in Georgia.
Yeah, almost.
More or less. But Matt, thank you very much for joining us today and rescheduling and making this happen as quick as possible so we can get this out as quick as possible. But like I said,
no problem.
if you're listening to this 6 months from now, you're 6 months late.
Yeah.
So, anyways.
So what the fuck's your excuse? Where's your snow day been? You in Alaska?
Exactly. But Matt, what was your exposure to pro wrestling in general? Like I said, you grew up in this area. You probably had a little bit of exposure to it when it was super popular here in the South, but what exposure did you have to pro wrestling at all growing up as a child or in your lifetime?
And none is an acceptable answer.
Yeah.
Basically none.
Okay.
When I went to college, I knew one guy who watched it, and that was basically my first exposure.
And I beat the shit out of him all the time.
Used to make fun of him. You're like, oh, you can stay home and watch wrestling? I'm going to be out crushing puss. Fuck you.
Smashing cold ones with my homies.
Doing Stone Cold Steve Austin shit while you're watching the motherfucker.
Yeah, I learned that reference just to make fun of you.
If you smell McCorkle's cooking.
Oh, man. That's how you sign off all of your comedy stand-ups from now on.
Yeah. I like how he just smiled and nodded. I still don't know what you're talking about.
I'm still going to make fun of you nerds when I leave here, too.
Suck it, wrestling nerds. And then he's like, what? Did I make another reference?
What are you
guys talking about? What are you talking about?
How I Met Your Mother. It said it on there.
Okay, well, we'll stop making fun of Matt in front of his fans. Let's just jump right into the discussion. The video that we all watched is a commercial tape entitled The Birth of Muta from NPN, which is probably the main distributor of New Japan commercial tapes at this time. If you were a big tape trader...
What do you mean by commercial tape? Like best of tape? Or?
Yeah, like best of tape.
Okay.
Like New Japan had like a VHS distribution... You probably the part of this.
So like Coliseum home video would be a commercial.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Yeah. It's just basically
compilation or like the video equivalent of the pay-per-view.
Yes.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, like the Tokyo Dome shows, the Fukyo Dome shows, they would have been released on VHS tape, and this would have been a tape that would have circulated quite a bit during the tape trading era of professional wrestling. So people have probably seen the birth of the Muta commercial tape. It's probably was bootlegged and relabeled just the best of Muta Volume 1. You probably have seen this multiple times before, but this is very fascinating because for you to have very limited experience, Matt, on just American wrestling, I just threw this at you, and even as a pro wrestling fan, it is fucking weird at times.
At times?
Okay. Especially at the beginning where we start off with like a mini movie.
Yeah, that's what I thought you signed me up for. I thought I was going to watch some movie involving wrestling.
Man. What were your thoughts when in the first 9 minutes of this movie?
Yeah, I was like, what is this? Is this going to be like wrestling, but shot for shot, no crowd at all? Is it just going to be this guy with face paint on?
Well, what other things were you thinking about when you were watching this? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I didn't know what movie meant. I didn't know it was going to be actual wrestling when I first started, too. I thought, like with the rank, with the crowd, which would, what makes it that. It's not impressive if you can just say, cut, all right, fight the sponsor again, we need another shot, that's what...
So you actually thought that this is what pro wrestling was?
Oh, yeah, I was afraid that that's
this is
video.
it, huh?
We fight in a cave.
So there's collegiate wrestling, and then there's what's on TV, and then there's what you guys do?
Where you fight a monster in a cave?
I think this is something completely different.
That's what I was scared of.
What kind of furry shit is this?
Well, I should make mention of this short little movie that they put at the beginning and the end, and also they put at the beginning and the end of Volume 2, which is entitled Revenge of Muta, which we'll get into at the end of all of this. But there were some heavy hitters when I looked up the cast, because I did far more research.
You mean just Muta? Because it says cast.
Yeah, cast was just Muta. But the person who they mentioned, the U.S. production who headed up that was Stephen Wang, who actually at one point in time was supposed to direct the Power Rangers movies, which I think is probably why
I believe it.
Why the monster looks so much like Lord Zed. But also, not only did he look like Lord Zed, but he also looked like the Guyver, which Stephen Wang was the director and producer of the Guyver. If you remember that.
I definitely remember the Guyver.
The cult sci-fi film. I always liked the Guyver. But he also...
It was also a cartoon, and it was wasn't Ultraman basically the Guyver?
Sort of. He was also connected to that. There's a couple people that are connected to Ultraman that worked on this as well. Stephen Wang also worked on The Predator, Evil Dead 2, and the Underworld movies.
I even thought about The Predator when he was talking, like when he gave him the fucking hand to the chest deal and then pulled all the slime out. Oh, it was like the fucking Predator.
Yeah, I think Stephen Wang had probably the loudest voice in the room because he had the best credentials. Yeah. But there were some other people.
So wait, he did all of that and then did The Birth of Muta?
He would have done the Guyver already, or he would have been about that time. He would have already done Evil Dead 2, I believe, and I think he would have already done Predator as well. Okay. But then from Birth of Muta, he went on to do the Underworld films. Nah. So he's still...
I like to think that's his reference tape. Well, have you seen The Birth of Muta?
And The Revenge of Muta as well. Just to follow up. But there were some other heavy hitters, and I'm going to try my best not to butcher some of these Japanese names the best I can. And I'm going to fucking try. Yuji Matsui, he worked on Kill Bill Volume 1, and he was part of the Japanese crew. Also, we have Takia Wada, who was in charge of the special effects and the story of this whole thing.
This had a story?
Yes, and he was heavily involved in anime. He's got multiple credits in anime. Yeah. And also, too, he did the makeup on the Japanese version of the Ring 1 and Ring 2. So, he also probably another notable name on here. But then the thing is, you have all these notable names. You have Stephen Wang, and then you have this man who was heavily involved in the Ring and the story and the special effects and an anime, a very large contributor to anime. But then you get to the directors and producers. Nothing. Nothing from
their IMDb page just has a picture of Muta.
Nothing. Like nothing reverse of Kimi Hiko Yoshino and Maya. I'll say I'm not even going to try the first name. Neither the producer nor the director have no credits whatsoever. So
I mean, you can't get jobs after this.
Exactly. All the people that were like the special help. So I'm guessing Stephen Wang was like probably walked in and saw what the producer and director were doing. He goes, "What the fuck fuck are you guys doing? This is not how you make a movie, okay? Like,
come here, let the Wang show you how it's done.
he just put his Wang down on the table and they just
see that? And there's like pictures drawn on it of what they should do.
There's too many swinging Wangs in this room right now.
What was his first name?
Steve.
And not enough Steve Wangs.
But this small movie starts with Muta being hatched and then bursting through a hymen and then going whiteface. So that's the best way to describe.
To blue, to green, back to the original red.
And then a lot of eyeball shots and then cuts to the silhouette of the monster. And then we get into an intro video of actual wrestling. So probably, what were your thoughts when we transitioned into actual wrestling, Matt?
I was like, thank God.
No, thank whatever this demon is that Muta's about ready to kill.
Yeah.
He is our overlord right now. So, but the highlights of basically, I should have just did this movie and then put these highlights, and you would have basically got all the highlights of this entire comp tape. But I had watched the full matches. So, but let's jump into match number 1. That took place on September 14th, 1990. The Great Muta takes on Hiroshi Hasi. I believe that's how you say it. I've probably a commercial tape or a tape editor or trader is probably screaming at me right now saying it's wrong, but I'm almost sure that's how it's said.
That's not how Meltzer would say it.
Yeah, exactly. They would probably say it like that. And he probably says it wrong too. But I remember the crowd saying, Hasi, Hasi, Hasi. So that's always... remember that. And Hasi's got quite a background.
Yeah.
He's one of my favorite actually Japanese wrestlers. He's probably one of the most respected wrestlers in New Japan and All Japan history. And he's gone between both companies with little or no heat or resentment between the two companies. He started off as a school teacher, but he was also represented Japan in Greco-Roman wrestling in the Olympics in 1984. But when he started wrestling in the States and became a part of like New Japan Wrestling and wrestling very early on in his career, they would send him to like Russia to learn Sambo, and he would come back and wrestle in New Japan, and then they would take him around to all these territories. And when he wrestled in the States, he was billed from Vietnam, which let's just be racist, okay. But then after his pro wrestling career started to tail off, he became involved in Japanese politics.
Like all the Japanese do.
Yeah, and was a part of the House of Representatives over there. And also, too, he's earned a cabinet position under the current prime minister. And he is currently creating legislation to fight against discrimination for the LGBT community in Japan in prep for the 2020 Tokyo Olympics.
Sweet.
Wow. So
you mean to say that their government could kick our government's ass? Because you got Inoki.
I'm just saying.
You got Onita.
Oh, yeah.
You got this guy. Man. If we ever had to do that thing where your leaders had to fight one another to like solve a war problem, we'd be fucked.
Oh, yeah. Japan would win.
That whole idiocracy with with Cruz as the president sound a little bit better right now.
Oh, yeah. Electing the Rocks in 2020 sounds far better right now, knowing that we have these shooters over in Japan right now. So, but let's get into the match specifically itself. Matt, with you having little or no exposure to professional whatsoever, what are your thoughts on this first match?
I thought that first match was pretty violent. I was expecting more of, a lot of times in matches you get the camera angle where it's like you can tell that you're not really hitting each other, but I think there was like blood. Like there was
blood. There was actually a lot of blood.
They were beating the shit out of each other.
Which is actually a good story about the blood in this match.
It's ketchup?
No. It was real blood. And basically, Hasi and Muta would face off against each other in tag team matches. But then a couple of years later, I believe in 1992, the next year, they had like a rematch against each other. And because Muta had bloodied Hasi so much, this time Hasi bloodied Muta real bad, and he ended up getting a shit ton of blood, which was the creation of what is known in the independent wrestling world or the internet wrestling world as the Muta scale of juice.
Oh.
So basically, this sets up for that match of a legendary
amounts of blood.
Exactly. So this, if you think there's a lot of blood in this one, there's far more in Volume 2.
There's a scale's worth.
Yes, there's a scale's worth. Like, it is at the top of blood. So this is the setup for that.
From one to Muta.
But yeah, Matt, what are your thoughts? Like, you're seeing, like, this is pretty legendary competitors in Japan. What are your thoughts? Like, the athleticism or the other things?
Yeah, no, they were very athletic. It was very athletic, and I couldn't really tell that they weren't actually hitting each other.
Well, the thing about Japan is that they kind of fucking do. It's
They
still
do,
real
'cause
there.
I remember at one point, Muta was getting beat up.
Yeah.
And, he was just getting this flurry of punches. And then he comes out of the flurry, and his face paint's all gone. Mm-hmm. It's like, I thought that they weren't actually hitting each other, but he knocked all the face paint off.
Well, he made
so hard.
He defied the physics of paint. It's really shit over there in the Japan. America, we gussy it up a bit. We're a little bit more Hollywood. But in Japan, they'll still fuck you up.
Well, and also, too, this is a larger crowd, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
So they're going for it.
Not pulling punches at all.
No. And there's even, like, a couple times where, like, Hasi is throwing Muta around like a child.
Yeah.
There was a T-bone thing that would just, like, lift him up.
Yeah.
And
so just threw him on his head.
But the thing is all these legit punches and suplex, but then Muta has the most unrealistic Irish whips of all time.
Yeah.
And then just does like a somersault into the corner. Mm-hmm. But
there were some parts where I thought, they're just gonna like start street fighting each other, like just legit like calm the fuck down man fighting. Mm-hmm. He keeps hitting him real hard. Oh
yeah, just random fucking objects. Even like hits him with a stretcher, puts him on a stretcher, and then moonsaults onto him.
He hit him. He found a Vietnam era hip kind of stretcher, like two gophers would carry out on like the Animaniacs football field.
Well, like I said, Hasi was built from Vietnam.
Yeah, it is.
There's the connection. Maybe that's the same stretcher that John McCain was carrying on at one point in time.
Yep.
But Matt, what are your thoughts? Just anything else that pops up with this match? Like, what do you think about the mist of Muta and just that whole essence of who he is?
Yeah, I was kind of expecting him to be, a protagonist, since it's, the movie's about him. So I was thinking you would, identify with him, but he was not a crowd pleaser at all.
All he said was just up yours.
Yeah,
yes.
So much of this.
And the only way you were mystified by him is if he spit mist in your face,
yes.
which. Spit and mist directly into an open wound. Is that...
Ow, that's not safe. Yeah. What was that? Just like water and coloring?
I don't know.
But it's spit. Well, then you got to take into consideration the mouth is pretty clean. Sanitary mouths,
Yeah.
Not as clean as a dog's mouth, but it's clean.
Yeah, like how clean is a demon's mouth compared to a dog's mouth? Yeah. That's really the question we need to ask. So
if anybody out there knows...
Please.
The pH balance of a demon mouth.
Somehow he kept refilling that spit, too.
He just keeps that shit in his mouth the whole time. He's just in different little, like, I wrestled with a dude that basically did a Muta gimmick. Like, everything Muta.
Who hasn't wrestled somebody
Now, it's not Mini Muta, who I still see all the time, and only refer to him as Mini Muta, even though
you see him all the time? I haven't seen him in a while.
He was at WrestleCade.
Get out of here.
I swear to God. Because he was front row at the morning show. And I was doing my little, whatever fanfare, and I'm on the rope and posing or whatever. And I looked down, and holy shit, it's Mini Muta and Muta Mom.
Well, let's let our listeners know, because they're probably completely confused. We used to wrestle in southwest part of Virginia, and we used to wrestle for this promotion that was run by Stan Lee, and one of the guys that he booked was a guy called Mini Muta. So we just
spoiler alert.
We thought
short.
Well, that's the thing. He was short, and we thought he was a midget. But turns out he's not a midget. So we thought he was a kid, and turns out he's not a kid. No, he's like the same age as us.
Yeah,
he's just super fucking short.
And he looks like a child.
Yeah,
he looks the same he has always had. In the 10 years, he still looks the exact.
So you can't. I don't know if he's like a little person or he's just a short dude.
Benjamin Button going on over here.
He's right in the middle. He's like some of those like mini luchadors that are like, oh no, you're just a short Mexican. You're not a
world's tallest midget kind of shit.
Yeah, but like he does kind of look like a child. Yeah. So it's like just super confusing. Like,
and he's always with his mom, which is questionable. And she, she's about the same height. It's a small family.
And he was like not good at all.
Oh God, no.
He was awful.
But hell of a nice guy. Hell of a nice kid.
Yeah, but I also too like. I also felt like he did the Muta gimmick, but he only watched like maybe like the first 10 minutes of this, and it was like I got it.
He watched the top 10 moves of Muta. He's like, I figured it out.
Yeah, because he would just randomly do the spit for no reason, like where it didn't make sense, or like you'd be like beating up in the middle of a heat, you just get up and then spit, and then go back to selling again. It was just really, really weird.
Well, this dude I wrestled with, his name is Mikado, was his work name, and I think he listens to the show. His name is Christopher Lee. Screwbiter Productions or whatever. He makes masks and whatnot for horror shows and conventions. I think he would just like dump the shit in his mouth and hold it in his mouth the entire time waiting for the spot. And it always blew my mind. It's like halfway through I'd either swallow it or choke on it or like not be able to breathe through my nose. But he would always just throw it in his mouth and have it wait for a spot, and he'd just wrestle with him there for 10-15 minutes.
Could he talk?
Well, no, he was Japanese also, so we never really have to.
Yeah.
Oh, is that not a thing? They don't talk?
You wouldn't understand if they did.
That's true.
So that was kind of why he knew like a little bit of Japanese, so he would, whenever he had to cut a promo, he would do that. But when he's going out there just to wrestle, he wouldn't talk in the middle of his match while he's wrestling. So.
And they got the pants on, so like Muta could probably reach into his pocket, like they always had. You always see they had pockets, so you could like pull out, and you would put it in there much earlier than when you would need it. I'm sure, just so people couldn't see. And then 2 seconds later,
But gotta plant the seed, Bubba.
Yeah, you'd probably beating the guy, whip him into something, pull it out, put it in there, beat him up, give him a suplex, duck a line, come back, spit. You know what I'm saying? Like you probably do like enough stuff, like or sometimes you give him like a long enough period where you take the tension away from. Like that was always the thing I think with Su Yung is like she'd keep it in a bra. I think Kahungus, like he keeps in his pants as well. Which Kahungus does a Japanese gimmick, and he has the most southern Tennessee redneck accent ever.
And he looks Hawaiian, and he just beats the shit out of people.
It blows your mind. He's like, "Hey, brother, what's going on?"
We gotta be serious out there, man.
Yeah, and he's got the face paint on and everything. Get the big mask. Yeah, it's really confusing. But let's move right along to match number 2, which took place on September 30th, 1990. The Great Muta takes on Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. When I say Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, Matt McCorkle, does that ring a bell at all with you growing up here in North Carolina at all?
Minus the fact that you're Wikipedia right now. No, by all means, please do. Please do. No.
You got Steamboat's page up right now. Tell me more about Steamboat. You got more information than I do.
Yeah, the Dragon Steamboat.
Nailed it, Bubba.
But no penetration whatsoever, no interactions of Ricky Steamboat or Richie Steamboat or any Steamboat whatsoever. Vic Steamboat ever work on your car? Like nothing? Okay.
I have nothing.
Well, what are your thoughts on seeing this match between Muta and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat?
I did not like this match at all.
You not like this match at all? Like
why?
Why didn't you like it?
There's too many. I don't like to watch the when I put him in a hold, and he kept going for like one of his legs. So I think it must have been his left leg. He would just always grab his leg.
There wasn't a lot of movement and action. It was more like rest, hold, and leg.
And it disturbed me actually watching I know he's not actually breaking his ankle, but just to be holding his foot and turning it in that way, I was just like, I was cringing watching it.
Do you ever break your ankles?
No.
I didn't know if you had like this.
No.
When I was a kid, my brother was fucking with me and then broke my ankle. And ever since then, it just, people have eyeball. Like when people touch their eyeball, it freaks me out.
Yeah, I get the same issue.
Yeah. So. Or like if anybody ever gets their Achilles tendon cut in a movie. No. Nope. Done. I'm out. Bye. Cut this off. I don't know if you just had an ankle thing.
No, I don't. It's not even an ankle. I mean, I guess I would get the same thing if it was doing it with his arm. Or it's just, I don't know. It's just disturbed me. I don't know why. It
was more of a torture scene than it was anything else.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe that's what it was.
Well, what about the entrance that Muta had, where the ninjas come down and do a tumbling display, and then Muta comes down from the ceiling? Did you at least like that?
I like that a lot. That was
that's how I want to enter every room.
And then they couldn't get the harness off, and he was still in character, and he was just like, get it off.
Yeah, I like that a lot. It's like he came down like he was coming out of a mental institute, They wrap your arms up so you can't escape.
But yeah, and I love Ricky Steamboat so much, and this match is very much like a clash of styles because Ricky is such a traditional wrestler, very technically sound, and Muta is also very technically sound, but he's doing such a character that there are certain like just things that just are weird, like the fact that Muta attacks him right away in the match, beats him up a little bit, and then they get back to the ring and they go back to lockups, and Ricky's doing clean breaks after all that. It's just this weird melding.
Like Ricky's wrestling a Ricky match and Muta's wrestling a Muta match, and then they're just kind of clashing in the middle there somewhere.
But I feel, but for me, it holds up because it's almost like sometimes in art, and especially in certain clashes like this, it's like a train. Like teetering, going so fast that it's teetering off the rails, and then hopefully it stays on the rails, or driving a ring truck, and you get so fast that the trailer starts to wag a little bit, but you want to stay at going 75 miles an hour because you got to make the town, but you don't want to go too fast, like 1 mile over.
And we're gonna flip this motherfucker.
Yeah, it's gonna start swaying too much, and you're gonna roll. It kind of feels like that, definitely at certain points of this match. But we get the mist moonsault over. It is fucking awesome. So, anything else to say about this match?
If that would have been Muta today versus Steamboat, then that would have been the sexiest match that ever occurred.
Oh, yes. Like if Steamboat was wearing a sweater, because nothing's sexier than Ricky Steamboat wearing a sweater, look it up on YouTube.
Shady sweater, didn't even matter. Ugly Christmas sweater, sweater vest.
When he had there was that interview with him with the world title belt, the big gold belt, and him with the sweater on in his house, there's nothing. That man is...
Steamboat with a sweater.
And he's like, what? Pornhub? Oh my God.
You guys are right!
Posted by Jake Manning. What? Like, wait, you have an account on Pornhub? You just don't, like, lurk on that?
Nope. I pay premium price for this.
Exactly. And I rate all the videos.
Even the ones I'm not into. You know, I'm not into pee, but they tried real hard.
Sometimes accidentally shared on Facebook what I was watching, you know? Those things, you know?
No one pays attention to me.
Listen, I give my good hard-earned dollars to people that are working hard to entertain me. Okay, I pay for my wrestling and I pay for my porn.
That's right. I'm not live streaming either of them on Twitter.
Yeah. Let it be said. Let it be known. So, moving on to match number 3, which took place in March 21st, 1991. The Great Muta versus Sting. Before the match, though, we have a samurai taking on a knight, I believe.
Well, it's because they know the match isn't going to be that great. They got to have something. Muta can only do so much.
Muta can only do... But is this the play off of... Because Sting, obviously, American. Does Sting ring a bell at all to you, Matt?
No.
Okay, all right.
Google Sting.
Nice to know that Sting's penetration
Okay.
in the South was so strong. That
he dressed like the Crow for a couple of years. So.
Yeah. He probably would have been doing the Crow thing more so during your time of pro wrestling because you're a little bit younger than me.
Your couple minutes of pro wrestling where that guy watched it that you knew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You say it like he had a run.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm just thinking like you know, Charlotte, North Carolina. Like when were you born, Matt?
1995.
Holy shit!
No wonder why you know nothing.
Never mind.
Sting would have been all Crow almost at that time.
And you would have been comprehending it anyway.
Exactly. Well, the time he would have comprehended, he definitely would have been Crow Sting. You know, he would have had to come online.
You would have been 6 when all the good stuff was going on.
Oh, jeez, no wonder.
Yeah, we apologize, Matt, for anything we might have said that you felt slighted upon.
Yeah.
We did not understand your age.
His earliest memory couldn't have even been WCW going out of business.
No, that's what I was saying. He was 6 years old when good shit was going on.
Yeah, so...
And my first experience was 2013.
All right, guys, so this has been another edition of How This Get Booked.
Wow.
I'm Jake Mann, that's Zane Riley. Here's a kid that's way too young to be hanging out with either of us.
We're on a list now.
Yeah.
We're on a list now.
Let's check IDs for this shit from now on.
Yeah, let's do that.
Well, this is even better. That you have... The age gap now is even cooler. I wish we'd known this a couple matches ago.
I think it's cool for me because that means I hang out with cool young kids.
Yeah. So what do you guys say in the streets these days?
Yeah.
What's
your new favorite word?
Swole, probably.
Okay.
Okay.
It's like cool, but
I'll take it.
Swole.
Swole. Okay.
Jake is swole,
Got a couple layers on right now. Look pretty swole.
You're looking good.
You watch Twitch now? Because that seems what all the kids are doing these days.
Yeah, I don't watch other people play video games.
Okay.
Well, you know what it is, so at least you
I know what it
pulse.
is. Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't know about it this past weekend when Levo Bates was doing it.
Oh yeah, like people make money off of Twitch.
Oh,
Actually, I read a story after that about this kid that just streamed the last UFC pay-per-view through Twitch, but acted like he was playing the new UFC game. Oh. And that's how they never really registered to take it down. And so they played the entire pay-per-view, which normally when they do pay-per-views, that shit gets taken down in minutes. Mm-hmm. So the kid was just dicking around with the controller in his hand because it has a little screen of the person playing. So that has that, and he just does it for 3 fucking hours straight while everybody else gets to watch the actual feed, and they get to watch the actual pay-per-view. He got caught the next day, but I think at one point it said he had like 15,000 viewers on his thing.
Jesus. Fucking these pirators are getting really smart these days.
These kids.
Oh, man. You're a very entrepreneurial generation, Matt.
You millennials, they give you way too much shit.
You work really hard at getting free shit.
Yeah,
we find all the loopholes.
You're far better than like people from the Great Depression getting free shit. You guys are far better at that.
Just skip this wrestling stuff.
Yeah, well,
let's talk about other life hacks, Matt.
Well, we got to dip in and out. Mm-hmm. But, but when we have, like, a samurai fighting a knight.
Yeah, okay.
And I guess that maybe is a nod because U.S., we didn't have knights here, but the colonial, I don't know. But then Muta just shows up and does a run in on it.
It just fucks them both up. Get out of here. Get on out of here, knights and samurais.
But then Sting comes up to a super weird country song. You didn't come up to that. Wasn't even that. It was just like... It's like the Terry Funk one.
I was just about to say, you mean like Desperado?
Yeah, like really super
Desperado.
Weird. But yeah, this is kind of like a legendary feud and interaction because Sting was known for the face paint. Like he's probably the most famous pro wrestler to have the face paint, maybe other than Ultimate Warrior.
I would put Sting above it. I think Sting was...
I personally would as well.
Okay.
But, WWF did have a large penetration. Mm-hmm. I didn't realize...
It's one of those U-porn... It's one of those Pornhub terms he uses in his descriptions.
Well, the
penetration was quite affable.
I do have far more subscribers on Pornhub than I do for this podcast. Like, that's...
Start reading their comments on your... their comments on your Pornhub on this podcast.
Listen, I'm selling a higher demand product, okay? What do you expect?
Maybe we just put this podcast on Pornhub.
I've thought about it multiple times.
We just put like just a dildo on each table and videotape it.
As much as we say fuck on this thing, I think we would qualify. Yeah. I think we would qualify.
Are we on the Muta scale of jizz to this podcast?
Well, we're definitely on the higher end of the Muta scale when I'm saying the F-bomb on the podcast.
Oh,
every time we record an episode, my girlfriend's in the other room, she goes, "Why do you say fuck so much?" I'm like, "I don't know.
we got extra minutes to kill. We got to get some words in.
Yeah, so I'm usually emceeing a comedy show and I'm not allowed to say the F word. Like, this is me just having that expression. Especially when you're pent up sexually, you just do weird shit. So...
All right, so about this match with Sting.
Back into Sting.
You got me back in, kid.
Speaking of doing weird shit to other human beings, Muta just jumps Sting before the bell like he's done every single one of these matches.
And the crowd goes, oh.
And there's like even one point where like he throws Sting outside, rams his head in the guardrail, and then brings it back in and does the finish. Yeah. It's like the weirdest.
That's all I need.
Yeah, but they work so well together.
Yeah.
This is a good match. What were your thoughts on it, Matt?
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty good match.
Face paint versus face paint.
Face paint versus face paint.
Far more like wrestling in action, not a lot of holds.
Yeah, I liked that more.
This is like a tight 10. I think Steamboat was probably closer to like a 15 or 17. Yeah. Where like this, they're like, just do all your high spots, get in, get out.
Because they're gonna start teaming here soon, so
make that connection, and of course, mist, splash, over, and then of course Sting puts on the Scorpion Deathlock, and then his cornermen start running in, which his cornermen, from what I could see, was Brian Pillman, Rick Steiner, Tim Horner, and Z-Man.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Listen, if I am ever in a fight in a foreign land, those are the people I want in my corner.
Yep.
Okay? Especially Rick Steiner. But where the hell's Scott? Like, come on. Like, can I get the craziest of all?
Do a little bit of math in the back. Working on his homework.
But anybody else you would want in your corner if you were fighting somebody?
In Japan?
In Japan.
Not Bob Sapp. He always gets knocked out.
Yeah.
Those guys. Probably one of the Road Warriors.
Okay.
Either one, really. I don't really care. You pick one. Pillman's a good one. I would have even thought about Pillman.
Oh, yeah. I put
Steiner. Maybe Vader.
Uh-huh.
I don't even know. Vader wasn't much of a legit badass. He's just so maybe not Vader. That's a good group, and then I would bring in one of the Road Warriors. Maybe both.
Yeah.
That'd be my fight team.
Hawk's the one.
What's Ming up to? Is Ming coming over at the time? Bring Ming with you.
Yeah, bring Ming over. I'd bring over Luke Gallows just for the fun of the story.
Yeah. Mammy Mascout.
Like he would be talking shit like the whole time I'd be wrestling. Like I'd probably be laughing so hard listening to him. But yeah, he'd be another one. But Scott Steiner would definitely be a guy. I'm like, hey, can you just kind of be there, make sure everything goes okay? Sure, I'll fuck up a Jap.
I'm sorry, Japanese man.
I'm sorry, Chinaman. What was even worse? Even worse, Scott. Even worse. But let's move right along to match number 4, excuse me, which happened in July 19th, 1991. Hiroshi Hasi tagging with Kensuke Sasaki, taking on the Great Muta and TNT, otherwise known as Savio Vega.
Yeah.
But actually, Savio and Muta go way back. It's part of the reason why this partnership works so well, is Savio wrestled Muta in Puerto Rico when Muta was doing Super Black Ninja. So they have a little bit of history that way. And of course, you miss all the spots where Savio gets his miss spots. But like you get it, and it's like the double Muta type thing, which is always really cool when that happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, and like Muta starts off with like a Japanese, like a pile driver on a Japanese table.
Right
away. And Sasaki, no help. No fucking help, whatever.
Oh, I'm not taking that.
Yeah, well, he's no help on Hasi. Hasi's just getting his ass whooped by Muta on the outside, and Sasaki's like, no help whatsoever.
Just hanging out, guys. Don't mind me.
And like Muta's like stabbing Hasi with the ring bell on the dull end. What are your thoughts on this match, Matt?
Yeah, I thought that was strange. You're allowed to bring knives?
I guess.
Always bring a knife to a fist fight.
Well,
rule number 1.
Part of the reason I have such an affinity towards this commercial tape, especially Volume 2, but we got to start with Volume 1 before we get to Volume 2, is back on like High Spots road trips, we had a silver van that had a VHS player in the back. Mm-hmm. And a lot of those Stanley trips to southwest part of Virginia. And I would be driving most of the time, and I remember my good friend Charlie Dreamer was in the back watching a VHS tape, and it was like Best of Muta Volume 2, and it's late night, driving back from middle of nowhere, Virginia. And Charlie would be in the back by himself watching this, while Mike Lee's trying to keep me awake. But like Charlie Dreamer, super redneck guy, awesome guy, hilarious, fun person to hang around. Great designated driver as well. Right. I wasn't drunk on this trip, so that's why I was driving. He was watching the best of movie Volume 2 and doing commentary on this super Japanese match, and you get the rematch of Hasi, and he's just like saying something like, "Oh shit, Muta's beating the fuck out of the Japanese version of Eddie Guerrero," and then goes, "Fucking Muta just stabbed him in the head." He's like looking at the ring. He's like, "Where's my goddamn hacksaw?" He just fucking stabbed him with a hacksaw. What the fuck, Muta? So like that was always like a key line with me and Charlie is he'd be like looking underneath the ring, like we'd be setting up the ring and we'd be checking the ring aprons. He'd just flip the ring aprons and be like, "Where's my goddamn hacksaw?" Just like a go-to line of his, and he just like all kinds of shit. And then there's like a Volume 3, Muta takes on Jinsei Sasaki, which is Hakushi, and Hakushi was like a spiritual wrestler, and he had this like really like stick thing that had like a lot of words on it and some sort of religious thing, and he tied it to the fucking ring bell, and then they cut to Muta, and Muta just goes throat slash and then fuck you and then up yours, and like Charlie was like, oh shit, Muta just said fuck your stick, motherfucker, like just having the most country person ever doing commentary on a Great Muta best of tape. I highly recommend it.
Find your favorite redneck.
Yeah, find your favorite redneck and show them this so they can just scream, "Where's my goddamn hacksaw at?" But this is kind of probably your first tag team match that you ever seen, Matt. What did you understand the rules of a tag match?
I think you had to hit hands at some point.
Hit hands.
It's hands. Any of the rules you have to abide by in a tag match that you can suss out?
I guess you weren't both allowed to beat someone up at the same time.
Doing good. You
kind of had to stay in your corner. Maybe.
Have you a referee in no time?
Yeah. That's all I got. I don't know the rules at all.
That's pretty much it.
Well, that's all I was trying to suss out from you. So.
Really?
You nailed it.
Nailed it. You got it.
Could have come out way more then.
TNT almost knocks Muta off the apron like 3 times, hitting the ropes. Should note that Sasuke had a monstrous fucking bulldog on that comeback. That was great. But fun match overall. But let's get now to match number 5, which took place on August 25th, 1991, where Great Muta took on Super Strong Machine, which is kind of a weird and odd match. But let's talk about Super Strong Machine. I don't want to butcher his name, but you can look it up. Just look up Super Strong Machine. It pops up his Wikipedia page. He came up with the machine gimmick in Stampede Wrestling, and then took it over to Japan. But yeah, he primarily did it in the Stampede Wrestling area because he's one of those New Japan wrestlers that got to tour the world and then come back and work on top in Japan after you've kind of got a flavor everywhere else. That foreign exchange program that was going with Stampede, Mexico, Puerto Rico, and all those other places. And he came back to Japan with the machine gimmick, and WWF actually ripped off the machine gimmick for a while from him, where they had Giant Machine, which consisted of Andre the Giant, Big Machine with Blackjack Mulligan, and Super Machine with Bill Eadie. And most people think that the machine gimmick started with them and not with Super Strong Machine. And then Super Strong Machine tried to have his own machine stable, which did not receive the same type of notoriety as Andre the Giant, Blackjack, and Bill Eadie.
I'd assume not.
So that's a little bit of information about that. Machine this time doesn't wait for the bell. He knows Muta's tricks.
Yeah.
He's
learned.
Like, fuck you, I'm going to come for you.
He's a learned man.
Muta still gets his mist, even though the guy's wearing a mask on. Jabs him with a bottle, bludgeon him with it. And then tries to unmask him like a dick. And actually does unmask him. Which actually, it wasn't made a big deal of unmasking Super Strong Machine until Chono did it in 1994.
Yeah.
As an angle. But, they clearly cut away from it for the live audience. We saw his open space. That's like a big thing in pro wrestling is when you're unmasked. It's like, you don't see the person's thing. Well, what are your thoughts on the masked wrestlers? Are you like, why are they wearing a mask? Or what are your thoughts?
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. It makes more sense than wearing face paint, honestly.
Okay, well, why?
Face paint would get in your eyes and stuff.
Well, how so? Hey, other than it just gets in your eyes.
You mean the face paint?
Well, no, the mask.
What do you think the mask is better?
Why hide your identity in pro wrestling?
Yeah, I guess you don't need to hide it, but it's just a good gimmick.
Okay.
It's a good...
Oh, he's already good.
You got the terms?
He's got the terms down? He knows tag team match? You want to ref this weekend?
What are you up to? I'm running a show Saturday if you're free.
Well, there's a Queens of Combat show.
It's all hot chicks.
Yeah, there's a Queens of Combat show. You're probably better than some of the referees that are going to be on that show.
Just don't try to fuck any of them. Let them try to fuck you. It's 2018. We got to wait. Yeah. Time's up, boys.
Yeah, just let them say yes first, okay? Be respectful. So... any other thoughts about this match? It was very short.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it was short.
One of those looked like it was going to turn into like a real fight when it got down on the ground. Like, we fucked something up? Like, we look really angry.
Yeah, that's
And like Muta's just like, fuck it, I'm walking out.
Yeah, it seemed like kind of like, I don't know quite what the story is, but it seemed a little bit of like, oh, fuck this guy, fuck this old guy, or fuck him, I'm the fucking man. Like there seemed like there was some hostility there, and then I wonder what was said on the microphone. It seemed like there was a sense of like, you just disrespectful little fucking mark or something like
whatever,
that.
however you say that in Japanese, I don't know.
However you say that in Japanese. And then like on his tape, it cuts away to a shot of Muta doing the up yours and flipping the bird.
What a good time to cut in.
Yeah. Like, so it makes me feel like there was a little bit of like true animosity there. And then on his commercial tapes, like, nah, that's going to be where I reply to your promo. All right, screw you. Up yours and fuck you. So... which Muta does a lot. And then it cuts to weirdly colored skies.
Yeah, that was a weird transition.
And they show highlights of Volume 2, but they don't say this is highlights from Volume 2, but I know it's from Volume 2, but they don't say, pay attention, like...
You wouldn't know if they did anyway.
Yeah, so it was really fucking weird. But then that leads into match number 6, which is weirded a couple of times. Match number 6, which took place in September 23rd, 1991. The Great Muta takes on the legendary, the WWE Hall of Famer, Tatsumi Fujinami, who was actually 38 years old at the time. And looks every bit of 24 at the time. Like, just on point. And he's actually, a year prior, he was the NWA World Champion. He was wrestling Ric Flair, so he's a year removed from that. And just the way that Muta's just like, nah, I'm just gonna hit this legend as hard as I can with a case of just garbage.
Really care, bro.
I don't care, and just
very Terry Funk before Terry Funk was Terry Funk.
Yeah, and he's just like, this concept should be called motherfuckers that I've busted open.
Yeah.
Like that's basically what he's
Muta
doing.
don't care about you.
Yeah.
Volume 1.
Yeah. It just, misting the ref bumped it, so they got to protect Fujinami, which rightfully so. He's coming off a biggest match ever, world title, all that stuff. So,
got to protect him, but only a little. Not so much to where he doesn't have to wrestle Muta.
Protect his stature, his win-loss record, but not protect his body.
Not his body at all.
Not
kill that.
What were your thoughts on Fujinami versus Muta?
Yeah, Muta looks like definitely the antagonist, I would say.
It's just,
he looks like the antagonist. This nice guy who's just wearing black trunks and black boots, who's here to wrestle.
Waved a couple people.
Waved at a couple people. A nice robe on. Yeah, he seems like the nice guy.
But it's real weird that this is your best stuff and you're just a dick in all of it.
Yeah, it's just like times that I was a super asshole to people that have paved the way for.
Let's make 2 tapes about it.
Listen, I'm sure the Young Bucks that would be the name of their comp.
Which when we get back to the movie aspect of all this, kind of still checks out.
Yeah.
When he kills this demon. We'll talk about that when we get there.
Yeah, we'll talk about it when we get there. But
did you watch the full movie, or did you just watch the link that Jake sent you for the?
That better have been the full thing. It was like 2 hours and 30 minutes.
Did you watch the other thing where it showed so the end of this kind of like ends in the middle of the actual movie part? Did you watch the second part of the movie?
I posted it on my Facebook, so if you didn't click on it.
Sorry, we'll talk to you about it.
We'll talk to you about it. You didn't miss much. So
okay.
Just curious.
There was just as much going on in the first half as the second half.
Yeah.
So it's a 5-minute conversation.
Okay.
You watched everything you were required to watch.
Okay.
You're fine.
Okay.
Matt got very upset.
And I was like, oh shit.
It's like, oh shit, they're making fun of me to my face.
We're back. God damn it, I thought I was really
I thought I was friends with these guys.
I was doing so good.
I was doing so good.
Right.
I'll just have to be like, bang, and give him the diamond cup.
Yeah. Pick up that pieces of your tables, queers, and buy them out. McCorkle, out.
Get the table, McCorkle. Why did I call myself McCorkle? I don't know.
I got a table anyway. Here we go. All right.
Bang it. Match number 7, which took place January 4th, 1992. The Steiner brothers take on the team of Great Muta and Sting. Some little known fact, actually, this is the first January 4th show in New Japan.
Oh, their New Year's Dash?
Yeah, like this is
what they call it?
This just like sets up their large Tokyo Dome shows that they have every year on January 4th. This is the first one. And this is the main event for the first one.
And this is a big match.
This is a big match. This is the second New Japan WCW Super Show. The main event to years prior was Flair versus Fujinami, which is a very large event. And we kick it off with the Steiner brothers, Great Muta, and Sting. And the big handshake and high five. But also, too, we get in typical New Japan January 4th tradition that kicks off right here. large entrances that includes a shitload of fucking tumblers. Now they got all kinds of light shows and intricate outfits. Muta's like, nah, just some fucking tumblers. No,
I don't need much.
Don't need much. Just that entrance song and some pyro, and I'm good to go. So, which by 1992 standards, big deal.
Huge
deal. Matt, what are your thoughts on this tag team match? This is now your second tag team match. I'm sure you're pretty tired of tag team matches.
It only takes one.
It only takes one to get a grasp of them. What are your thoughts on this match?
Well, before I had seen this match, because I split up, I didn't watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
I was talking to someone else who had come on this podcast before.
Okay.
And I was asking a few questions. I was cheating a little bit.
Good.
And he said, yeah, so he made you watch some terrible, terrible wrestling. He made me think, that maybe this is what I've been watching the whole time is actually horrible wrestling.
Well, see, we have diversified.
Who was it? Because it'd make a lot more sense.
It was Normal Dennis.
Yeah, no, we made him watch a lot of bad stuff.
Oh yeah, we've run Dennis through the ringer, but we realized that we're gonna run out of like really awful stuff. But the funny is, especially someone like you who is just as virgin as the undriven snow in my backyard.
Thank God it snowed. We would have had that reference.
Exactly. Is that we also want to put out some weird wrestling.
Yeah.
Like we make people watch Beyond the Mat and take people that are just completely unknowledgeable pro wrestling, but to you, this is a culture shock, a brain shock. It's a shock on all levels.
Yeah, for sure.
So we can put this out where this is like a highly regarded best of tape.
And in case you're curious, all this wrestling is very good.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you are entertained and like it, you are correct.
Yeah, you are correct. So you don't have to feel weirded out by it. And I'm not trying to make you suffer in watching bad wrestling. But I want you to suffer in the fact that you have no idea what the fuck is going on.
And absolutely no way for it to be translated to you.
Yes, and that's what I want. Is I want you to feel lost. I want you to feel lost and confused.
Maybe cry.
Vulnerable. Just a fetal position, just questioning life, and that's kind of where I want you to be. But the Steiner's
taking a dark turn.
Basically all the feelings you would feel in knowing that you're wrestling the Steiner brothers at a Tokyo Dome main event, because Scott Steiner throws both these men around like a small child. So,
Muta, I saw your matches. I'm ready.
What are your thoughts on this tag team match?
Yeah, it was really impressive. Because I went in thinking, really critically, wait, so is this going to be trash? Is this actually bad? Can I do this?
I've questioned everything that I've watched so far now.
Yeah. And
even with that context, were you still like, no, fuck them, I like this match?
Yeah, I was like, this looks really impressive.
So you had to come up, you were at the bottom end of that hill to come all the way up to realize that this is a really good match. Good.
Yeah.
It's nice to know.
I could come to that conclusion, and I was like, wow, that would... especially with the tag team when there's so many moving pieces. Mm-hmm. And I was like, wow, that would really impressive. That takes a lot of athleticism. For sure.
Yeah, you have to be very athletic to have Scott Steiner throw you around like a small child.
Yeah. You have to be athletic as shit to pick your man ass up and throw you around like a small child.
Zane, did you like this match? I like this match.
Yeah.
This is
everything on this show, so I didn't really say it earlier. The very first match made my new top 5 of favorite matches ever.
Oh, you need to watch the rematch. You need to watch the Muta
all the blood.
one.
Okay.
Yeah, that one. There are moments in that are just like I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it. Like just the amounts of blood in Muta's face and the way that he just goes nuts with it. Like if you like match number 1, you really should look at it.
Yeah, I love it. It's so good. This whole tape has been real good. I was also really drunk on a train when I watched most of this show. At 6 a.m. I was real drunk on a train going to Atlanta. So I was super into this whole goddamn thing.
What were your thoughts when you saw the beginning movie part, though?
Oh, I did not know why we were doing this anymore. And I thought it was gonna be like small movie match, and then we follow the arc. No, it's like 2 parts. It's like 2 different things, but supposed to be the same movie, and then so many fucking matches. Mm-hmm. And then when I finished it earlier today, I was like, oh, that's it. That's just in the movie.
Well, this is,
and that's why I messaged you. Is there supposed to be a volume 2? Because I'm not going to watch 5 hours of bullshit just to see how this ends.
Well, let's get into that and wrap it up with this tag match. Anything else to say? Great match, good finish.
Cool.
Great. This probably helped launch the fact that they do a January 4th show every year now. But back to the movie now.
Yeah, thank God.
Where Muta has this match with the monster. that is a combination of the Predator, the Guyver, and Lord Zed.
Yeah.
Locks up with the monster, clotheslines him, miss him, and then takes a back fist, and then he is choked to death.
Yeah. Which, this is the demon's house. Muta came to him. Mm-hmm. I don't know if Japan has, every man's castle law or anything. He was just protecting himself. Muta is still the asshole.
Oh, yeah, Muta was...
Just because he was just born.
Yeah.
That does not give you any kind of leeway.
Yeah, just because you broke through a hymen earlier doesn't mean...
If you were born and 5 minutes later are able to both walk and put together some sort of a wrestling match, you are no longer innocent. You're not a baby.
No.
It means you cannot trespass and break into other people's homes. Mm-hmm. So you got what you got. You deserved it.
Exactly. Well, did you feel the same, Matt? Did you like this last little part here at the end?
I was very confused.
Good.
He's like, I saw this awesome match. I think I might like pro wrestling now. And now this happens.
And then we're back to the stuff that I thought was your guys' pro wrestling, and I was back out.
So what was your thought on seeing that transition, man?
Yeah, I was not expecting Muta to lose. I was expecting it to come out, somehow. I thought it was going to have some very climactic ending, and it was not.
Well, it was a to be continued.
It was to be continued for Volume 2. And the tape that is referred to as Revenge of Muta. Mm-hmm. Which, Zane, do you see the second part to this?
I did watch it.
I did watch it.
Yes.
To catch Matt up, basically, Revenge of Muta, basically, a visible moon shows up, and Muta regenerates into, I believe, the devil, if we were mistaken. His face starts bubbling, his teeth start to grow, he gets nails growing. And then he's going to hunt down the demon.
He becomes a Great Kabuki.
Yeah. It's basically like he transforms into the Great Kabuki. Is basically how it goes. And then he's hunting down the demon once again. Mm-hmm. The demon is hiding up on a cliff. And I'm guessing that's either pee or drool. I don't know. I want to believe that the demon peed on Muta's shoulder. And Muta's
okay. I thought it's like some liquids came from like a stalagmite or stalactite.
No. That
hit his shoulder.
I think.
I hope it's pee.
I was hoping it'd be pee. Like, that would be really dickish. Yeah. Then I'm like, oh, that demon deserves to die. Yeah. And also, too, this is, Japanese influence, so I'm assuming pee. Mm-hmm. I think drool...
It could be semen, I suppose.
Oh, even so. Even so.
I don't know the level of hentai they're trying to get into here.
Yeah,
This wasn't in that coloring class that we took at Comic-Con.
Yeah. So, who knows? Who knows what's going on? But anyways, Muta comes out and has another fight with a demon... and rips through him and right into his heart and then kills him. And then basically...
like an asshole.
In the words of Charlie Dreamer, oh shit, Muta just killed the devil and now he has become the devil.
Which I thought would make more sense. I guess at this point he hasn't done like the Muta with the demon face in the matches yet.
Yeah.
So it'd been real cool if like that was kind of the segue. Like he kills the devil, and then he turns into not the Great Kabuki, but into that Muta, and now we have that Muta going forward. But I guess that was later down the line.
A little bit later down the line. He's got this full Muta run, and I think he's got to go normal.
Yeah.
He gotta be Kinjimoto for a while, and then he goes back to the demon.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Yeah, we gotta get to all of that. But anyways, we've lost Matt now completely.
I have no idea.
But anyways, if you want to...
Matt's phone died. He has no idea what's going on anymore.
Yeah. But I have the video that we watched. It's available right now on howtoskipbook.com. I'm going to leave it up for a little while until we suss out exactly what we're going to do in the next episode.
Did you just learn the word sus?
Yeah, I've been very...
You've used it a few times so far.
Well,
are you working on you get a word a day and you kind of try to use it as much as possible?
I'm trying not to be so common.
Okay.
I'm
just trying to be the mouth breathers and the ham and eggers.
Exactly.
Okay.
Even though I've been breathing out of my mouth a lot because my nose has been stuffy, I'm trying to at least have the dialect of a non-mouth breather.
I gotcha. I'm not playing either. Like sus is a good word. That's good usage.
Listen, I'm trying to push myself over that hump. My parents did a certain level. It's my job to now get a little bit higher in society. Now, if I had a kid, I'd have to push him a little bit higher. But my goal is to get us to the peak, and then there's nowhere else to go. So there's no point to have kids. That's my point. That's my point.
So now that I tell you that to tell you this.
I tell you that to tell you this, and ask this question, Matt.
Go sus yourself.
You watch this whole thing. What are your thoughts on this whole commercial tape? Did you enjoy it? Did you like it? Does this make you want to see more pro wrestling, less pro wrestling? How do you feel about
No is an acceptable answer.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think I'll watch more pro wrestling.
There you go. I always love that answer. That's my favorite answer.
I love that people become unmoved
Yeah.
by pro wrestling.
Because I feel a lot of people would just be like, oh, yeah, you guys wrestle, you have me watch this, I'm on your podcast. Might as well say I like wrestling now. Yeah, I'd get back into wrestling a little, but I watch something else.
Yeah.
The guys that say no are the best. I don't give a shit about your stupid hobby.
Because you have clearly decided that pro wrestling is not your thing, which is fun.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shit that's not my thing. Like video games and anime, not my thing.
You ever seen those wrestling video games?
Yeah. I used to play...
you see that one right there beside him?
Yeah, the big arcade game that I have right here.
Yeah. Okay.
It would only be weirder if I had it like my arcade video game sitting on my shoulder like a parrot.
Or if you could have like popped it like the Fonz and it turned on. Oh, do I know video games? Blah! WrestleFest. He fairly knows that one video game. So
yes, that's about it. I had SmackDown on PlayStation 1. And
he's not buying the new ones, that's for sure. He hasn't pre-ordered 2K, whatever.
Listen, it'd be too fucking weird if I'm playing characters on a video game who have stayed in the guest bedroom of my house. That's just...
Let's talk this guy on the phone. I don't want to...
All my friends are up there now, so it'd just be goddamn weird if I'm playing a video game with my friend as the character.
This is some level of porn I'm not prepared for.
Well, maybe that's why I put that on Twitch or Pornhub.
There you go.
Start both those accounts.
Yeah.
And get that out in the world. But like I said, if you want to see this, it's only going to be on our website for quite some time. But like I said, most tape traders have seen it.
Yeah.
But if you want to see the Birth of Muta short film, it's only 20 minutes long. It's posted on the How Did This Get Booked Facebook page. So make sure you check that out. And make sure you like that as well. But before we get out of there, Zane, do you got anything you got to plug, let people know about? This is literally going to go up in a few hours.
Yeah.
So.
This Saturday, if you listen to this live, I will be at the Double Shot Queens of Combat in Gibsonville, North Carolina. And then Sunday, I'll be running a pro wrestling seminar in Eden, North Carolina, right before the Grassroots Pro Wrestling 2 show, ran by Harlem Bravado. No, Lancelot Bravado. Yes, Harlem Bravado. Harlem Bravado. Clint. I think it's fucking Clint.
This is, fucking dumbass Clint.
Yeah, super Clint. So that's where I'll be this week. And then I'm probably doing something next week. But I don't know. I'm trying to get out. I'm trying to retire. Oh, I've got PWF Hubert in Jacksonville, North Carolina, and AML Wrestling in Winston-Salem somewhere.
Matt, you got anything you got to plug, or a Twitter account, or anything that you want to let people know about?
Nah.
Good for you. Getting out of comedy, buddy, already?
Off the grid. Fuck pro wrestling. God, we.
I got it. I don't want you assholes to find me on it.
We aspire to be you, sir. Let's be absolutely totally honest. But a couple of dates just for me, just to shout them out. January 25th, all organic. Comedy open mic at the Evening News. Also, February 8th will also be another all-organic show. And then, of course, the end of February, I'm all over the place. I will be wrestling for Wrestling Revolver, February 16th in Dayton, Ohio. And then I will be doing a storytelling show that is yet to be named in Chapel Hill on February 17th. And then I will be doing PWX February 18th. And then I will be performing at the North Carolina Comedy Festival in Greensboro, February 21st. Which is a Wednesday, and Saturday, February 24th. And a couple other stuff coming down the pipe. But as always, just make sure you follow me on Twitter at ManScoutManning or on Instagram at ManScoutManning. If you had a mistake or you got a question or any type of concerns, go ahead and tweet me at ManScoutManning or email me at jake@sslshow.com. If you hate the show and think we're garbage, make sure you tweet at all_in_2018 because file the complaints with them. Why not? I'm sure they'll get back to you. Why not? Also, make sure you log on to the website. That's kind of how you can watch this show. I'm going to leave it up for a couple of days just so people get an opportunity to watch this and see this discussion. But that will go down. But the place to go to watch it for right now is howdidthisgetbooked.com. Make sure you subscribe on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, YouTube, SoundCloud, and guys, right now, Okie Lane Still the reigning champion in reviews.
King of the Mountain.
King of the Mountain for I think 3 weeks now. He's a couple more weeks and he will be the longest reigning champion in reviews. We will say
no one can top that.
Nobody can top that classic review, which I'll read again.
Please do.
It's so short. I believe the subject title is Always Like a Top Hat, and his review is Great Second Party WrestleCast. That's what I'm saying, guys.
That's all you need.
It's hard. That's all you need. That's all you need to do for me to say your name, much like Okie Lane's name. I have said Okie Lane's name now 3 weeks in a row. And if Okie Lane had a podcast hey, Great Second Party Cast, much similar to my podcast, Okie Lane Drive, I would say his podcast 3 weeks in a row. You could get free advertising. You could do whatever. I don't care. I am desperate for the reviews, and I even look up on Stitcher and other places. So make sure you leave a review on iTunes or Stitcher or even SoundCloud or anywhere else. I will read it here on the podcast. And right now, our reigning king is Okie Lane. Okie Lane, you are a reigning champion. And we are now at the end of this edition of How Did This Get Booked?
Woo!